Okay, so last night we told you about Paul Noraki. He is a former toy company executive who has been walking the streets of New York with a sandwich board trying to find a job. One of the most popular stories on CNN.com after we brought it to you. And you know what? Our Richard Roth caught up with him. Take a look at this.
He looks like a typical commuter wearing a suit and tie in the crowds of workers pouring into Manhattan. Paul Noraki doesn't have to go far to get to his office. It's right on the corner. His job these days is to look for a job, and he's making sure people know he is available by wearing this large advertising board.
What I was doing wasn't working. When you're doing something and it doesn't work, you have to do something different.
Noraki worked in the toy industry in operations for 36 years. He was laid off in February, shortly before his company went bankrupt.
My daughter said to me, she said, you know, you should take some resumes and hand them out on the street.
Paul's unemployment insurance will soon run out. His wife is partially disabled, and his daughter has student loans. How humiliating is it for you right now walking on the streets of Manhattan with a sign like this?
When you're out of work and you face having nothing, I mean having no income, pride doesn't mean anything. You need to find work. I have to take care of my family.
Noraki stands in the cold for hours. New Yorkers, used to the homeless and sidewalk pitchmen, look but don't often stop.
I feel sorry for him. I wish I could help him.
A passerby offers a suggestion to try down the street at the United Nations, and he becomes a photo op for international media. At Paul's favorite corners, some competition from charity groups, and then from a young man searching for a girl he liked whose phone number his roommate threw away. There was one hopeful moment.
I'm the head of an executive search firm in New York, so why don't you give me a resume?
Noraki takes a break in a nearby park to check emails.
Nothing so far. A lot of junk mail.
It's a sign of the times. Richard Roth, CNN, New York.
Hello, everyone. I'm Don Lemon, live here at the CNN World Headquarters in Atlanta. Laid off workers unite. They have taken over their factory. People are taking notice, including a noted name. And attention is shifting to the bank at the center of this shutdown. In the same city, it is the same issue. Barack Obama talks about the economy, what can be done, and what he will do once he takes office. Chaos in Greece. Police and self-styled anarchists battle in the streets after a teenager is shot and killed. Let's start in Chicago and the latest in the standoff at Republic Windows and Doors, now in day 3. Reverend Jesse Jackson paid a visit today, and the focus is shifting to the bank that cut off Republic's credit line. In fact, the bank's role in this story is something the company and its workers actually agree on. Aaron Baskerville of CNN affiliate CLTV has the very latest.
Reverend Jesse Jackson arrived at Republic Windows and Doors on the north side, bringing food for the workers and their families, camped out at company headquarters since Friday. These workers are not leaving their jobs until they're paid for their work, and Jackson says this could be the spark to ignite mass worker demonstrations throughout the country.
These workers are, to this struggle, perhaps Rosa Parks was to social justice 50 years ago. And just maybe workers must begin to show resistance in plants all around the nation.
The company was forced to shut down because its credit was canceled by Bank of America, and workers received only 3 days' notice. Now they're taking a stand until they get the vacation and severance pay, which they believe they're entitled to.
I mean, this is just about basic human decency, people getting what they're owed under law and what they've earned with their own labor. So, yeah, they're very upset. They're very worried about their future. Being kicked out with 3 days' notice, penniless on the street, that's just crazy.
About 300 people work at the factory on Hickory Avenue in Goose Island. And under law, the company apparently failed to give 60 days' notice before closing its doors. Republic Windows and Doors can't pay their workers because union leaders say the bank won't let them.
For our families and our workers, we don't want to let the company step on us. We have to fight to the end.
And for its part, Bank of America says it's not responsible for the company's financial obligations. Bank officials, workers, and company leaders are scheduled to meet tomorrow to talk. Earlier today, President-elect Obama was asked about the Chicago factory standoff.
when it comes to the situation here in Chicago with the workers who are asking for the benefits and payments that they have earned, I think they're absolutely right. And understand that what's happening to them is reflective of what's happening across this economy.
The president-elect in Chicago today. Right now, I'm joined by one of the workers who worked for Republic Windows and Doors for 7 years. And as I understand, sir, from speaking with a representative from the company earlier, you've worked there for that long. You have 5 children, correct, that you need to take care of, not just through the holidays, but forever.
This is true. As a matter of fact, I have 6 children and 15 grandchildren.
6 children and 15 grandchildren. As someone who has worked there for 7 years, and I want to tell people what you're fighting for, you believe that you should get 60 days at least severance and also back vacation pay. This will help you, obviously, and many more people like you who have children, who have obligations, and some of you who your health care and your benefits are quickly running out.
This is very true. I mean, we've just been shafted, at lack of a better term. We had initially hoped and prayed for a bailout, you know, but since Bank of America chose not to do that, then at least we were looking for our vacation pay, which we had already earned. And they told us 3 days in advance that the plant was closing. On Friday, they canceled our insurance. So now we have no insurance. We have no vacation pay. As of now, our last check, it's in question whether we will even receive it or not. And the company nor the bank feels no responsibility towards the federal Warren Act to pay us for the 60 days.
I've spoken to several representatives, several workers, too, by telephone, and they're saying today, Melvin, that you guys are feeling more empowered as you get help, as you get support from people like the Reverend Jesse Jackson, also from other politicians and leaders in the city. As they come in to visit you, you're feeling more empowered as workers.
Oh, we're feeling fantastic. And it's not just the leaders, but it's the other unions that's behind us. It's the community support. It's just the private citizens that's bringing in donations and blankets and pillows and just the numerous numbers of prayers. We're feeling very positive at this moment because now that the light is on, we feel that Bank of America is almost forced to do the right thing.
Either directly or indirectly, even one of the big 3 going out of business could be devastating to the overall economy. Let's talk at the staggering numbers, this jobs report that came out last week, the worst, Poppy, since 1974.
That's right, Don. To give you just paint the picture for you, on Friday morning, this number came in about 8:30 Eastern Time. I was standing on set ready to go live, and the entire newsroom around me groaned when the number came out. That number, 533,000 people lost their job last month alone, the worst since 1974. So far this year, 1.9 million Americans have lost their job. Our unemployment rate is at 6.7%, the highest it's been since 1993. And Don, the number of people that have lost their jobs this year alone is more than in the entire recession of 2001. Also on Friday, they revised the reading of the October and the September jobs that were lost, and they were much higher than expected. Look at those numbers. The fear is that the reading that we got on Friday for November could get a lot worse, Don. This is the 11th straight month that hundreds of thousands of Americans in this country have lost their jobs.
Well, let's talk. What does this mean for December? Obviously, this is the holidays. A lot of people want to get out and spend money and buy things for their families.
Well, let's look at this week alone. It was unbelievable. This week, 43,402 to be exact, Americans lost their job. Big cuts at AT&T, that telecom company. JP Morgan, the financial industry, being smacked. More than 9,000 jobs lost there. Credit Suisse, another big bank, losing jobs. And also General Motors cut 2,000 jobs this week alone. And Don, we know if they get a bailout, the automaker said they will cut many, many more jobs. So these numbers, folks, coming in just the last week, what it shows you is December will be even worse than the November numbers, Don.
All right, Poppy Harlow. Poppy, stick around. We want to talk to
tries to crack down on cleanliness inside people's homes. Yes, I said inside. But angry property owners at a city council meeting, they made sure a neatness ordinance is shot down, at least for the time being.
I'm not having anybody come into my house and tell me I don't like your window.
It's a violation of my constitutional rights, for one thing.
They go drink, they go do their drugs, they do not take care of these kids. These kids are left by themselves. They're thrown from pillar to post.
All right, so two sides to the story. Proponents of the neatness ordinance say they will redraft the proposal and have it ready for another vote in January. But you got to love that elderly woman who said, look, I don't want somebody judging my windows, and then I get slapped with a ticket if they're not clean enough.